by virtue of ACCA introducing these professional marks, what is actually going to happen? By virtue of ACCA introducing these professional marks, what is actually going to happen is that you now have got 20% marks allocated to the professional skills, and the 80% marks of the paper are allocated to the technical skills. Now, a lot of students, I bet a lot of students think that it is actually a rocket science. A lot of students think that it is going to bring about major prepare for that. Now, believe me, a lot of tutors, they have got a habit of creating hype of something. Uh, Everyone is respectful, but a lot of people, they just create hype for no reason. The professional marks are not something new. They were always there, and they have now been extended to the professional level papers, to the optional level papers. The professional marks of 4 marks were always there, but yes, now the additional professional skills are being allocated marks. And why is that so? The ACCA wants you as a student to be able to demonstrate those professional skills when you are writing down the answers. Why? Because ACCA wants you to have those skills when you go into the market. Now see, I'm going to take you through that what these professional skills are. But before that, let me just guide you that for these 3 paper optional papers, which is basically the APM, AFM, and AAA. You know that the syllabus methodology is like this. There is a section A where there is a 1 question which is of 50 mark. Then there is this section B where there are 2 questions of 25 marks each. Now, what is going to happen is that in this section A question, 40 marks are going to be technical and 10 marks are going to be professional. There are 4 professional skills that ACCA has defined that it wants a student to develop. So all these 4 professional skills are going to be tested in the section A question. So there are going to be marks for all these 4 skills. For section B, each the question would have 20 technical marks and 5 professional marks. And ACCA has told you that for each of the questions, they would define that which of the professional skills they are expecting you to demonstrate when you're writing down the answer to the question. Now, what are these professional skills? How would we prepare for them? Again, let me tell you, a lot of tutors create unnecessary hype. They just make things complicated for the students by just saying that this is going to change the way paper is done. This is going to change the way paper is being taught. This is going to change the way the paper is going to be prepared. No, nothing. There's going to be a slight amendment. There's going to be a slight twist in the methodology. There's going to be a slight twist in the trick, and rest of it would remain the same. Now, what is that going to be? For that, I want you people to actually know these 4 professional skills that are actually going to be examinable. So professional skills which have been introduced, they include these 4 skills. What are these 4 skills? They include the communication, they include the analysis, evaluation, they include skepticism, and they include the commercial acumen. So examiner expects you that you will be able to demonstrate these 4 skills or whichever skill which is needed while answering the question. Now, what are these skills? What is it that you have to do as a student in order to develop these skills? So let me just guide you. The first thing is the professional skills. Just wait a bit. Okay. The first thing is the professional skills. Is the communication. ACCA had introduced 4 professional marks at different papers. Now the communication, what do I mean by communication? There are multiple things to communication. The communication is about presentation. The communication is about the choice of words. The communication is about the simplification in explaining a matter. This is what good communications are. Now, So if you are being given a data, you got to make sure that you present it in a proper manner. If you are being given a data, you got to make sure that you choose the right words, considering the audience that you are addressing to. You should choose a right format, considering whatever the type of communication that you have to do. This is not something new for you. You have been getting these 4 marks for the format, structure, content. It's just that there is a value addition that you got to focus on the right choice of words. You got to focus on making the communication clear, conveying your things clearly. That is something that's a value addition that has been introduced. Plus, the second skill is the analysis and evaluation. Now, what is this analysis and evaluation? So when I talk about analysis and evaluation, so when you are being given a data, when you are being given information, so amongst the information, you got to decide which information should be considered, which information should be ignored. You got to decide which information should be is relevant, which is irrelevant, which is more relevant, which is less relevant, which is to be considered, which matter is to be considered or given priority, which matter to be given less priority. These are the things that you got to consider as a student. So this is what the analysis and the evaluation is going to be, that you got to read the scenario, and from the scenario, you got to identify the matters, you got to identify the areas which need to be considered, the information that needs to be considered, the information that needs to be given more emphasis upon. That is what the analysis and the business and the evaluation skills are going to be. Then if I move forward for the skepticism. So when we talk about the concept of skepticism, being skeptic, you do study this in the audit, the professional skepticism. Here they've only used the word skepticism. When you use the concept of skepticism, it's a questioning attitude. Now, let me tell you, this is not something new for the AFM level, because, or even at the APM level, or even at the AAA levels also. Because what happens is that, let's say if you are talking about an AFM investment appraisal. So you know that with respect to investment appraisal, we do create a questions onto the rates of inflation, the rates of growth, the discount rate, the extension of finance, etc., etc. We can create questions. We can be skeptic about it. There could be assumptions that the management is using. We could be skeptic about those assumptions also. So that is all something that's a skeptical attitude. You're valuing a business. You're using cash flow based valuation. You're being given the cash flows. And what you do is that you raise questions on those cash flow assumptions. You raise questions on the cash flow growth. What is that? That's a skeptical attitude. That is not something new. You've been doing it. You have been doing it. So this is the skepticism that you would have to introduce, which is to create a questioning attitude, which is to have a questioning mindset in the examination. That's something that the examiner would give you marks on. Then the commercial acumen. The ethics are important. Plus, we all need to understand that the organizations are commercial. We as a financial management expert need to keep this commercial acumen in mind. We need to talk commercial sense. When we talk something, when we give suggestions, when we give ideas, we got to make sure that it has got the commercial sense there. It has got the commercial acumen there. It has got the business sense there. The organization is going to gain out of that. That is something that you have to keep in mind. So, first major change with respect to this professional level optional examinations is the introduction of the professional marks, which is the professional skills, which are 4 skills in total. The 4 skills including communication, analysis and evaluation, the skepticism, and the 4th one of them is the commercial acumen. Believe me, you just cannot gain these marks till the time you've got the technical understanding. If you've got the technical understanding, you can get the marks. If you don't have the technical understanding, you cannot get these marks at all. You just cannot get these marks. So make sure that you have the technical understanding. And I'm again telling you, a lot of tutors have the habit of creating a hype, have the habit of creating something like it's a rocket science that's being introduced. It's no rocket science. It's something very common. It's something that has always been examined. It's just that it has been given a weightage. It's just that it has been given extra weightage. That's it. So you just got to polish, you just got to tweak your answers a bit. That's it. Nothing else. So I hope that you people understand the latest change to all these professional skills, which is these optional level papers, which is the introduction of professional skills.